everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Lavanya. In the previous video lecture, we had discussed about the total taxable income. Today, let us discuss how to calculate alternate minimum tax under section 115 JC. Before that, subscribe to the channel to get notifications of new videos. Let us look into problem number 9. Priyanka and Shruti are working partners in a professional firm, sharing profits and losses equally. The partnership deed has authorized the firm to pay interest to the partners on their capital at 20% per annum. The firm is considered as eligible firm as it satisfies the requirement of section 184 and 40B of the IT Act. From the following information, they have asked us to calculate book profit, admissible remuneration to partners, total income, tax liability of the firm. So let us look into the profit and loss account. On the debit side of profit and loss account, we have other expenses, interest on capital, salary, bonus and other remuneration to partners as well as net profit. So the net profit as per profit and loss account is 2,50,000. On the credit side of profit and loss account, we have gross profit, interest from customers and interest on debentures. Other information. So point number 1, we have the firm is eligible for 100% deduction under section 80IB as the firm is engaged in the development of SEZ. Okay. So the second point is depreciation allowable as per IT rules works out to rupees 35,500. So we do not have any depreciation given on the debit side of profit and loss account. But in the adjustment, they have specifically stated that 35,500 is allowable. So next point is other expenses to the extent of 62,500 is not deductible. So in the column other expense, we have 1,25,500 out of which 62,500 is not deductible. That is inadmissible value. Okay, so let us compute the problem. So the first step is to compute book profit. So let us start with the computation of book profits. So net profit as per profit and loss account is 2,50,000. So net profit 2,50,000 we have considered here. We will add all the inadmissible expenses debited to profit and loss account. So on the debit side, the first point we have is other expense. So other expense, we have an adjustment. Other expense to the extent of 62,500 is not deductible. So that means to say to the extent of 62,500, we have to treat it as inadmissible expense since they have specifically given it is not deductible. So we have considered 62,500 here. Now the second point we have is interest on capital. So Priyanka to the extent of 40,000 and Shruti is 60,000. So in the problem, they have specifically stated the interest on capital rate is 20%. So the value that exceeds 12% will be treated as inadmissible value. So 20% minus 12%, the remaining 8% will be treated as inadmissible value. So the value of Priyanka is 40,000. So 40,000 into 8 by 20. Out of 20, 8% is inadmissible, which comes to 16,000. And the value of Shruti is 60,000. So out of 60,000, 20% in total, 8% will be treated as inadmissible value. So it comes to 24,000. So next point we have is to salary, bonus and other remuneration to the partners. Priyanka it is 6,50,000. Shruti it is 3,50,000. So total 10 lakh will be our inadmissible value of remuneration. So whenever the remuneration is paid to partners, it will be always treated as inadmissible value. So remuneration to partners, complete 10 lakh will be treated as inadmissible. So net profit of 2,50,000. Adding all these inadmissible values, we will get 11,02,500. So the total comes to 13,52,500. So let us look into the credit side of profit and loss account. We have gross profit to the extent of 8,15,000 and interest from customers related to the business 10,000. So we will ignore this. To interest on debenture. Now interest on debenture is taxed under the head income from other source. So this is a non-business income. So we will consider allowable expenses not debited to profit and loss account, and non-business income values. So we have interest on debenture to the extent of 6,50,000. We have deducted the value. Also, in the second point, they have specifically stated depreciation allowable as per IT rules works out to 35,500. In the profit and loss account, they have not given any information regarding depreciation, but in the adjustment, they have specifically stated to the extent of 35,500 is admissible value. So we will be deducting 35,500 here. So summing up these two values, the value comes to 6,85,500. So 13,52,500 minus 6,85,500. So the value we get is called as book profit, that is 6,67,000. So our book profit is 6,67,000. So let us calculate admissible remuneration. So there is two important criteria that we will consider. One is actual amount of remuneration, second one is maximum limit. So actual amount of remuneration paid to working partners, just now we saw it is 10 lakh rupees. Or the maximum limit is on first 3 lakh we will consider at the rate 90% or 1,50,000, whichever is higher. So if you calculate 90% on first 3 lakh, the value comes to 2,70,000 or 1,50,000, the higher value among these two. So which is higher? 2,70,000, right? So we have considered 2,70,000 here. Plus on the remaining balance. So book profit is 6,67,000. So out of 6,67,000, we have considered first 3 lakh here. So if you deduct first 3 lakh which we have considered, the remaining balance which is left out is 3,67,000. On this 3,67,000, we will calculate the standard rate of 60%. So the value comes to 2,20,200. If you sum up these two values, the total final value which we get as maximum limit is 4,90,200. So now you will compare between actual amount of remuneration or maximum limit. So which is less among these two, 10 lakh or 4,90,200? So 4,90,200, right? So this will be our eligible remuneration. So the next step is to calculate business income. To calculate business income, we will consider book profit minus eligible remuneration. So how much book profit we have? 6,67,000, right? So we have just calculated eligible remuneration. The value is 4,90,200. So the remaining balance which we get will be called as business income, that is 1,76,800. So book profit minus eligible remuneration will be our business income, that is 1,76,800. So next step is to calculate total income of the firm. So we will not consider the head salary. We do not have house property income in the problem. So we have just calculated business income to the extent of 1,76,800. So that value we have considered as business income. Also, we do not have capital gains in the problem. So we have other source income, that is interest on debenture to the extent of 6,50,000 which is given in the problem. So this 6,50,000 will be considered under the head other source. So if you add these two values, the gross total income will be 8,26,800. So as stated in the problem, the firm is eligible for 100% deduction under section 80IB as the firm is engaged in the development of special economic zone. So to the extent of 100% value of your business income, the deduction will be claimed by the firm since it is engaged in the development activity of special economic zone. So this value will be considered under the section 80IB. So deduction under section 80IA to 80 RRB. So we are deducting complete business income here, 1,76,800 into 100%. So the value 1,76,800 is completely deducted. So the now total income value which we get is 6,50,000 only. So the next step is to calculate tax liability of the firm. Since the firm has claimed deduction under section 80IB, So we will have to consider the tax on total taxable income or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. I repeat, if the firm has claimed any deduction under section 80IA to 80 RRB, then we will compare the value between the actual total taxable income or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. What is alternate minimum tax? Alternate minimum tax is a tax that ensures the taxpayers to pay at least the minimum. The AMT recalculates income tax after adding certain tax preferences back into the adjusted gross total income. That is tax preferences which we have deducted to the adjusted total income. So now we have to compare the value of tax on total taxable income or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. Alternate minimum tax under section 115JC, where the regular income tax payable for a previous year by a person other than company is less than alternate minimum tax payable for such previous year, then the adjusted total income shall be deemed to be the total income of the firm, and such person will be liable to pay income tax on such total income at the rate 18.5%. So we have to calculate alternate minimum tax by considering tax on adjusted total income. So how do we get this adjusted total income? Adjusted total income is nothing but tax on total taxable income, which we have calculated as per IT rules. We will add all the deduction under section 80IA to 80JJA other than ATP deduction. Also we will add exemption if there is any under section 10AA. So the total which we get is our adjusted total income. So this total income is calculated at the rate 18.5% to get the value. So adjusted total income into 18.5% we will calculate. If the value has exceeded the limit of 1 crore, we will also calculate surcharge if it is applicable only. We will add health and education cess at the rate 4%. So whatever we get at the end will be called as alternate minimum tax. So we will consider tax on total taxable income or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. So let's compute the total income of the firm. Tax on casual income at the rate 30% is not given in the problem. We do not have any casual income in the problem. We do not have long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain in the problem. So we have taken the nil balance. Now tax on other taxable income is taxable at the rate 30%. So in the problem we have business income to the extent of 1,76,800. So 1,76,800 we have considered. Also we have other source income, that is interest on debenture. Since it is not a casual income, we have not considered under the head casual income, but we will consider under the head other taxable income. So 6,50,000 we will consider here. So the total value comes to 8,26,800, out of which to the extent of 1,76,800 is deducted under section 80IB as deduction. So out of this 8,26,800, 1,76,800 will be treated as deduction, and the remaining balance of 6,50,000 is only left out. So on that 6,50,000 we are calculating at the rate 30%. So whenever you are calculating other taxable income column, you have to also consider the deduction here. You have to deduct the deduction value and then take the summed value. So the value comes to 1,95,000. So we will add 4% health and education cess on this value, which comes to 7,800. So our total taxable income is 2,02,800. So the next step is to calculate AMT. To calculate AMT, we should first of all know adjusted total income. So on this adjusted total income only we will calculate the value at the rate 18.5%. So to calculate adjusted total income, we will consider the total income of the firm plus add all the deductions, as well as if there is any exemption under section 10AA, we will also consider that value. So let's start. Now calculation of adjusted total income. So total income of the firm which we have is 6,50,000. So that 6,50,000 we have considered here. So deduction we will add it back to get the proper adjusted income value. So deduction under section 80 IB, that is 100% deduction which we have considered here, 1,76,800. So the total adjusted total income that we get is 8,26,800. So let's calculate AMT. Tax on adjusted total income at the rate 18.5%. So 8,26,800 into 18.5%. So the value comes to 1,52,958. We do not have surcharge since the value has not exceeded the limit. And we will calculate health and education cess at the rate 4%. So on 1,52,958, if you calculate 4%, the value comes to 6,118. So your alternate minimum tax value is 1,59,076 rupees. So the total taxable income value is 2,02,800. So we have considered 2,02,800 here. As per AMT calculation, the value is 1,59,076 rupees. So which is higher now? 2,02,800, right? So this 2,02,800 will be your tax liability. I repeat the point. So our final tax liability will be total taxable income of the firm or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. So the tax liability will be calculated comparing the total taxable income of the firm or your AMT calculation, whichever is higher. Let's look into problem number 10. The following in the profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 2019 of a firm, we have profit and loss account here. On the debit side, we have securities transaction tax, general expenses, bonus, interest to partners at 15%, salary to partners, and net profit of 26,60,000. On the credit side, we have gross profit, long-term capital gain which is listed, short-term capital gain which is listed too, and income from house property as well as interest to SBI. Now in additional information, we have the firm is eligible for 100% deduction under section 80 IC. So they have asked us to compute tax payable value of the firm. So to compute tax payable value, we have to compute book profit, eligible remuneration, business income, total income, and total tax payable or AMT. Since the firm is claiming deduction under section 80 IC, we have to also calculate AMT. So computation of book profit. Net profit which is given as per profit and loss account is 26,60,000. So let us consider 26,60,000 here. Let's add all the inadmissible expenses. So first of all, we have securities transaction tax which is inadmissible value, and hence we will consider this non-business expense here. Now we have bonus to the extent of 1,20,000. Let us consider 1,20,000 here, since this is inadmissible value because this is part of remuneration. Okay, we did not consider general expense. So general expense is a part of business expense and hence we will ignore. So we have considered bonus already. So interest to partners is at the rate 15%. As we know, exceeded value of 12% will be treated as inadmissible. So partner A, 90,000 into 3 by 15, that is 18,000 will be treated as inadmissible. Partner B, again 1,20,000 into 3 by 15, 24,000 will be treated as inadmissible value. For partner C, 60,000 into 3 by 15, 12,000 will be treated as inadmissible value. Summing up all these values, we will get 54,000. So now we have also considered interest on capital. So the next point we have is salary. salary is, as usual, it is inadmissible. So salary to partner A, it's 2,40,000, and salary to B, it's 1,80,000. So both the values we have considered, the total value of both the partners' salary is 4,20,000. So summing up all the inadmissible expenses value, we will get 5,95,000. So your net profit is 26,60,000. Adding all the inadmissible value, we will get 5,95,000. So the total value is 32,55,000. Let's check the credit side of profit and loss account. We have gross profit. We have long-term capital gain, which is listed securities. Okay. So we have non-business income of long-term capital gain to the extent of 1,40,000. Short-term capital gain 1,20,000. So we will consider 1,20,000 since it is non-business income. Other incomes credited to profit and loss account. House property is non-business income. So 60,000 we will consider here. As well as SBI interest, non-business income again 10,000. So adding up all the non-business incomes which is given on the credit side of profit and loss account, we will get 3,30,000. So 32,55,000 minus 3,30,000, we will get 29,25,000 as our book profit. So the book profit is 29,25,000. Right, let us calculate eligible remuneration. So we will consider actual remuneration or maximum limit, whichever is less. So actual amount of remuneration paid to working partner, for partner A it is 2,40,000 and partner B 1,80,000. So total 4,20,000 we have as actual remuneration. The second criteria is, on first 3 lakh we will calculate at the rate 90% or 1,50,000, whichever is higher. So on first 3 lakh, if you calculate 90%, you will get 2,70,000 or 1,50,000. The higher value is 2,70,000. So we have considered 2,70,000 here. On the remaining balance will be calculated at the rate 60%. So total book profit value we have to the extent of 29,25,000. So we have considered 3 lakh already. So if you deduct 3 lakh, the remaining balance is 26,25,000. So on this you will calculate at the rate 60%. So 60% comes to 15,75,000. So that 15,75,000 value we have taken here. So if you add these two values, you will get 18,45,000. So you will now compare between actual amount of remuneration or maximum limit, whichever is less. Now which is less among these two? 4,20,000, right? So this will be your eligible remuneration. So the next step is to calculate business income. So business income is very simple to calculate. You will consider book profit minus eligible remuneration. So book profit, how much book profit we have? 29,25,000. So you have considered 29,25,000. Less eligible remuneration. How much eligible remuneration we have just found now? It's 4,20,000. So your business income is 25,05,000. Let's calculate total income of the firm. Now we do not consider salary income for the purpose of assessing partnership firm. So the next head is income from house property. In this particular problem, we have income from house property value of rupees 60,000. Since they have specifically stated income here, we will not compute it again. If they had mentioned rent from house property, then you have to compute the value of income from house property and then take the final value. So let us consider 60,000 value here. So the next head is income from business. So we have just calculated 25,05,000 as income from business. So let us consider 25,05,000 here. So the next head is capital gain. But capital gain is not eligible for any kind of deduction, and hence we will take it after calculating the deduction value. So next we will consider income from other source. Interest to SBI. So it's 10,000. So let's consider the 10,000 value here. If you sum up all these values, you will get the gross total income of 25,75,000. So in the problem, additional information is stated as the firm is eligible for 100% deduction under section 80 IC. So the deduction shall be 100% of profits and gains of industrial undertaking for the first 5 years commencing from the initial assessment year, and then 25% for the next 5 years. So deduction here, 80 IC deduction is complete 100% of your business income. So your business income is 25 lakh 5,000. On that 100%, complete 25 lakh 5,000 will be deducted. So the taxable income is 70,000. We still have capital gains in the problem. So we have long-term capital gain which is listed 1,40,000 and short-term capital gain which is again listed 1,20,000. Earlier we were not considering the listed value of long-term capital gain, but now we will consider if the value exceeds 1 lakh. So short-term capital gain on equity share which is liable for STT is 1,20,000 and long-term capital gain on equity shares which is again liable for STT is 1,40,000. So your total taxable income is 3,30,000. So before we calculate the tax liability, we should now consider the total taxable income as per IT rules or alternate minimum tax, whichever is higher. So since the firm has claimed deduction under section 80 IC, we have to also calculate alternate minimum tax. So now let's calculate total taxable income, tax on total taxable income. So first of all, we will consider casual income, but we do not have any casual income in the problem, so we have not considered it. So long tax on short-term capital gain, which is included in securities transaction tax. So the value is 1,20,000. So on this 1,20,000, we will calculate the rate at 15%. So the value comes to 18,000. Long-term capital gain on equity shares. So tax on long-term capital gain on transaction of STT, securities transactions tax, that is listed values. If it is in excess of 1 lakh only, then we will consider the rate of 10%. Otherwise, we will not consider. If it exceeds 1 lakh rupees, then we will consider at the rate 10%. So since the value given in the question is 1,40,000, which has exceeded the limit of 1 lakh, we will calculate at the rate 10%. So tax on long-term capital gain, 1,40,000 into 10%, 14,000 we have considered here. Now tax on other taxable income. So we have not considered house property income in these two heads. So let us consider under this head 60,000 plus we have business income of 25 lakh 5,000. So 25 lakh 5,000. Also other source income which is interest to SBI, value is 10,000. So if you calculate all these values, you will get 25 lakh 75,000. On this you will claim the deduction as well. So deduction is 25 lakh 5,000. So the left out value is 70,000. So that 70,000 you have considered here. Calculating the other total taxable income at the rate 30%, the value comes to 21,000. So if you sum up the short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain and other taxable income, you will get 53,000. Now if you calculate 4% health and education cess, it is 2,120. So total taxable income is 55,120. Let us now calculate alternate minimum tax. To calculate alternate minimum tax, we should first of all know our adjusted total income. So let's calculate adjusted total income first. So we will consider total taxable income first. So we have total taxable income value to the extent of 3,30,000. Let us consider 3,30,000 here. We have also deducted 80C value to the worth of 25 lakh 5,000. So we have considered that 25 lakh 5,000 value here. So if you add these two values to get proper adjusted total income, the value comes to 28 lakh 35,000. So while calculating adjusted total income, you have to always add deduction to the total taxable income to get the actual income, adjusted total income. So now we have got the adjusted total income to the extent of 28,35,000. Let us calculate alternate minimum tax. So tax on adjusted total income 28,35,000 into 18% if you calculate, the value comes to 5,24,475 rupees. So if you calculate 4% health and education cess, then it comes to 20,979. So alternate minimum tax is 5,45,454. So the AMT value is 5,45,454. So total taxable income as per IT value comes to 55,120 rupees. So total taxable income is 55,120 and AMT is 5,45,454 rupees. Now tax liability will be the higher value among these two. So which is higher now? 5,45,454. So this value will be considered. You can also show the value after rounding off to the nearest 10 under section 288B. That is 5,45,450 rupees. So that's it for this lecture. Please comment below if you have any questions. We'll meet very soon in the next video lecture. Till then, happy learning. Stay tuned.